Doing pretty good.
Excellent.
Ladies and gentlemen, the following is another excellent episode of the Wrestling Fans Podcast, Ringside Society. In one corner, we have the Monarch of Mardi Gras, the Baroness of Bourbon Street. Whenever she's not hosting Ringside Society, she goes on crazy misadventures, such as dressing up as the big boss man and locking people up, or trying to lock people up for petty crime, or dressing up as Tiffany Stratton and giving random people beauty tips. Louisiana's own Kathy Knight. And the second corner we have that ocean crossing, straight up Boston, flight catching, shot glass snatching. Where's he going next? Nobody knows. 3 continents down, 3 more to go. No cap, straight facts, the worldwide star boy, Remy Blue. But it's not about us. You see, we have a special guest with us tonight, a man who is doing great things in the world of professional wrestling, not as a professional wrestler, but as a promoter. That's right. He is the man that runs the show, and actually one of the most exciting shows this side of the United States, more specifically, the Northeastern United States. Everybody, welcome to the show. A man who actually runs a show that has featured people such as Emily J, Journey Burke, the all-father Darius Carter, and AEW star Marina Shafir, Brii Combination Wrestling owner and CEO Anthony Cole. How you doing tonight, sir?
Oh, thank you guys. Remy, thank you for that amazing introduction. I appreciate it. That was magnificent.
I try, man. I always tell people, it's a little bit of Road Dogg, a little bit of Justin Roberts, and I just yell at the top of my lungs, hoping I hope I sound good, man.
Oh, you did, yes, sir.
Yeah, so I gotta say it's an honor to have you on. I've heard a lot about BCW. I live in Brooklyn, New York, actually, but unfortunately, I haven't been able to make any shows because due to my work schedule. But I've heard nothing but great things. I've seen, one of our alumni guests. I don't know if you know him, CF and Bills. The wrestling god. He's actually had several lives at your shows, and y'all are just doing great things. We've actually met in person several times.
Okay.
I don't know if you remember. I don't know if you remember. One was last October at the Mecca when CCW had their show, and then I believe it was we
Yeah.
actually met at Wale Mania. I don't know if we met at Wale Mania this earlier this year
2024 in Philly, yes.
when it was in Philly. Yeah, I've been meaning to get you on, man, but it's like it's just. I tell people my brain is like Professor X's. It's like it's not a matter of who you can find and have on. It's who you should have on at this moment.
Right.
So it's like I got this person over there in Delaware. I got this person in Louisiana, but I also got this person in Seattle. And then we're also an international show because we interview people internationally. So I got this person over in Germany that I want to have on too. So many like moving parts. It's like so many people, so little time.
Right. Hey, sometimes that's a good problem to have.
Yeah, it definitely it is. So I gotta ask you, man. Before we get to BCW and the greatness, that y'all bring, how did it all start for you? How did you become a fan of professional wrestling?
Oh man, how did I become a fan of professional wrestling? When I was a kid, I my dad, he liked wrestling, and he put it on TV every once in a while, and I started watching it. And then I saw Andre the Giant, and oh man, I was like, this guy's the greatest guy in the world. Like, I was such a huge Andre the Giant fan. And ever since I saw his first match, I was just like, oh man, I'm hooked. So I grew up in that era. Andre the Giant, Ultimate Warrior, Hulk Hogan, those guys, man. It was a good time.
Yeah, that was definitely a great time to be a wrestling fan. Um, so many legends during that time, and I've gotten to meet several of them, and thank them for all that they've done, throughout the years for us wrestling fans, and it's always a surreal moment when you grow up watching these people, you cheer for them. Sometimes you and your
Right.
friends are playing wrestling. You guys
Mhm.
are wrestling, in the backyard, and you're doing their moves as a little kid, not knowing you shouldn't be doing those moves because those
Right.
are professionals. You could risk
Mhm.
injury, and then you see these men and women in front of you, when you're a grown up, and it's like, wow, like I used to watch you on TV, man. So
Yeah.
it,
Yep.
it's definitely a crazy feeling when that happens.
My first starstruck moment was Anniversary One. I had Billy Gunn as the main event, and when he walked into the arena, I was like, "Oh wow, Billy Gunn is really here!" So like that was my first time during my own show when I was like, "Oh man, I can't believe this guy's here." It was amazing. So I know what that feels like, man.
Yeah, and I gotta say, man, like you've been doing great yourself because you guys, BCW, y'all been 8 years strong now. You started in 2016, and
Yes,
now y'all are still running, still putting on great shows. One of these days, I definitely gotta check. I definitely gotta check out, what you guys got going on because I've seen nothing but great things, and it's
thank you,
just a
man.
matter. Trust me, I'm not dodging, man. It's a matter of schedule, man. I mean, Battle
Hey.
Club Pro has had several shows over here, and I can't even make those, and those are like just a couple minutes away from
Right.
where I live.
hmm Well, you're always welcome, man. Whenever you have the time, you're always welcome. Always. Same for
Yeah.
you, Kathy. When you get out here, come on in.
Awesome.
Hey, be careful. This is a woman that she lives in Louisiana. This is a woman that actually drives 4 6 hours from Louisiana to Houston to go and see reality wrestling, which is Booker T's promotion. She
Oh
does that.
wow.
I don't know how she does it, but yeah, she makes it happen.
That's what's up. Well, you always welcome. Always.
Thank you.
So, so you're a fan of the sport, and you decide, to do what not a lot of fans can actually do, and that's get involved in the wrestling business as a promoter, which is one of the which is one of the most rewarding yet tedious tasks because there's a lot that comes with. And like I said, I'm not gonna say what I know, but I have friends in the business that have put
Right.
me on, and I'm like, I know it's not easy, being a promoter and everything, but it's also rewarding when you see the fans, at your shows
Yeah.
cheering on and then just leaving the show happy and whatnot.
hmm
So I gotta ask you, Matt, what made you decide, how did it all start? How'd you go from, Anthony Cole, wrestling fan, who's watching the shows every week, cheering his favorites, supporting the business, to now Anthony Cole, owner and CEO of Brii Combination Wrestling.
You know what? It's a two-part story. The name Brie combination actually comes from my daughter. She when she was about 14, she came to me. She said, "Dad, I want to start a company." And I'm like, okay, come to me, let me know what type of company you want to start. Let me know what you want to call it, and I'll definitely help you out. Now, at this time, like I said, she was 14. I was already doing like hip hop, poetry, comedy. I had a full management company, and I had, these type of people under my team. And I would always tell my team members, you know what, we can't use every idea, but pitch them to me. There might be a diamond in the rough. So, let me know. And then if we could use it, we use it. If not, we can't. Now, we've been doing the hip hop and poetry for probably about 2 years. And at this same time, my daughter was working on her idea for her company. So she comes to me probably about the end of 2015. And she's like, Dad, I got it. I know what I want to call it. And I'm looking at her like, what you got? She's like, I know what I want to call my company. I know what I wanted to do. And she's like, I want to be a costume designer. And I'm like, okay. I'm like, and what you want to call your company? Her name is Brittany. So she said, I want to call the company Brii Combination. I'm like, that's perfect. Let's do it. So she started off, and you know what? I gotta put this on display. Her first drawing was actually a koi fish transforming into a dragon, and that was
Okay.
the first piece that she ever did. Really good seller. And then she went from there, and the following year she designed her own prom dress, and it was amazing. Like she really did the thing on that dress. So now with this happening, my team comes to me and they're like, hey, listen, you do everything. Like what if we try something new? And I'm like, well, what you want to try? They're like, let's open a wrestling company. Now remember, I'm a fan, right? And I love business, but I didn't know anything about a wrestling company, like starting a promotion and stuff like that. But my boys were like, listen, we'll help you. We'll find the wrestlers. We'll introduce you to everybody you need to meet. And then that's what we did. We went on this like tour. This happened in January 2016. I went on such a tour that by March 2016, we did our first show. And the way it came together, it was pretty good. And I have to hand it to my team members, man. They really did a good job. And here we are. Since 2016, we've been here. And I know I gave you the long story, but you need to know the history. So I hope you don't mind.
Anthony, I can tell you this right now. We have had interviews that have gone on for 3 hours, 4 hours. Kathy, you remember those? We had Nigel Rabbit, a guy down in Texas. I think his episode was 3 hours or 4 hours. And Soraya Knight, Paige's mom, was Soraya's mom. She her story was actually 3 or 4 hours too. So trust me, we're accustomed to this, but it's your spotlight, man. Like I said, feel free to tell the story. We don't mind, man. But I gotta say that was awesome. That's a great story. So what was your daughter's reaction when she found out you named it after her? Like, was she like in awe? Or was she like?
Oh, she was in awe. She was happy because we already had like the parent company is named Incredibly Talented Investors. So we had that company as the LLC, and I was gonna put everything under ITI. But then when she came up with Brii Combination, I was like, you know what? I like that better. So we moved everything slowly but surely under Brii Combination. Brii Music, Brii Poetry, Brii Comedy, and now Brii Combination Wrestling. So it's just a huge tree, just sprouting many limbs. So she's very excited. It gives her something to talk about with her friends. But she goes, we own a Live Pro Wrestling company. So it's great.
So now I'm thinking, oh man, this would be that would only be. So what would your reaction be if she went to you and said, "Dad, I want to join the business as a pro wrestler"? And then you let's say, I don't know if you'd say yes, or but let's say you say yes, right?
Mm-hmm.
And she does the training and she's that good at what she does. And then she's like, I want to wrestle for Brii Combination and get my namesake. I want that title. What would your reaction be?
Man, I don't know. I would probably start cracking up at first. I'm like, really? And then I'd ask her, like, have you been training? Are you really ready for this? And knowing my daughter, if she got bit by the wrestling bug, oh man, she would take it so serious. She'd be training. She would probably annoy me. I'd be like, oh my God, are you still talking about wrestling? Like, oh yeah, she would definitely be all in. So, I don't know.
Hey, but Anthony, you gotta admit that'd be one heck of a storyline, though.
That'd be something. It sure would. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that would definitely be something. But yeah, but over the years, man, y'all have had so many impressive men and women, in professional wrestling, pass through your promotion. You've had people like Faye Jackson, another woman whose promo skills that actually impressed me from day one. Vanity. You've had the you've had the All-Father, Darius Carter. You had, like we mentioned before, Marina Shafir, Ruthless Lala, who was, pretty much the queen of the lariat.
Yes.
You've had a lot of like, impressive people work for your company. 8 years now. Like, looking back, what's your feeling to know that you've accomplished so much in which is, my opinion, a short span of time?
And you know what? It's been 8 years, but I'll tell you something, man. It really does feel like a short span of time. And I think about all the things we did. Like, we've had, like you said, some tremendous wrestlers come through our door. We've had Leo Rush, Hurricane, Tornado. Billy Gunn, like I said earlier. We've even had Moose come on the show a couple of times. And when I think about us being 8 years in, I remember that first day when everybody was like, BCW? Anthony Cole, he don't know what he's doing. He might know business, but he doesn't know wrestling business. They'll never have a title. They'll never have this. They'll never do that. And I always told my team, I said, look, man, no matter what we do, people are always going to talk about us. But the more time we spend listening to them, is the less time that we are doing what we're supposed to do. So let's just focus on us, right? And that's what my mantra has always been. Let's just focus on us and let everybody do what they're going to do. But as long as we do what we're going to do, we're going to get there, you know? And that's what we've done over the years. And a lot of those companies, look, I'm still here, right? That's all I can say. I'm still here. You know, I've been focused on what I needed to do. I don't get involved in the drama and the he said, she said. I just stay focused, man, and I love it.
Yeah, you've even had AEW star Willow Nightingale on your
Yes.
first show, the BCW debut show. You had Willow Nightingale on there.
And look how much she's grown. I remember meeting Willow when she first started training, you know? And now look, she's like a champion. She just won another title as well, international title. I'm like, wow, look at that, you know?
Yeah, that means doing all of that. That means you're pretty much doing something right. And I always tell people, and even Dwayne the Rock, and this is why I see Dwayne the Rock Johnson, you know, is one of my favorite wrestlers. Not just favorite wrestlers, favorite celebrities too. Like the man says some really like profound stuff that makes you go, well, wow, like,
right.
And you know, one of my favorite things he said is, you know, which in your case you've proven, you know, to be correct, to be true. You know, he said, and we even put this on a shirt, one of our shirts that we had that we used to sell in our merch, in our at our merch store. What he said was being persistent gets you there. Yes. Being consistent keeps you there.
That is correct.
You guys have proven that for 8 years.
Yes.
And I've seen you guys have packed shows, and I'm like, well, I gotta check out what these guys want these days. Definitely gotta, and at the Mecca of all places too. Like that's impressive. The Mecca,
thank you, man.
Folks. If you don't know, the Mecca is one of the best venues you can hold a wrestling show at. It's in New Jersey, and if you could pack that, that means you're definitely meant to stay in this business.
Oh yeah.
But not to digress, another thing that he also said that The Rock said was a lot of times when people say you can't do it, they're showing you their own limitations.
Right.
They're not showing you your limitations. They're showing you their limitations.
Their limitations, exactly. Yeah.
So you proved the naysayers wrong, and you're still going.
I'm still going, man. My next show is in less than a month. Actually, it's in 34 days to be exact.
Yeah, it's you have one coming up on the 7th anniversary 7, right?
No, anniversary 7. We just did that one. That was June 9th. Anniversary 7. Now we're moving on to August 18th, the first ever Grand Rumble. This is going to be the first time BCW has done a Grand Rumble. I got 20 of the best independent competitors coming in, and oh man, this is going to be something. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Wow, that sounds the Grand Rumble. That sounds like something that I definitely want to see, and you know we're gonna get into that card. But for those of you listening and watching, you want to know why you should check out BCW, because look at their last card. Last card had Faye Jackson versus Tiara James. Faye Jackson, who is well known in professional wrestling, yeah, Tiara James, who actually I believe she did a TV show, a reality TV show on BET. You know, an aspiring actress as well. They had Notorious Mimi versus Clara Carreras. Notorious Mimi, former WWE star, WWE NXT star, Notorious Mimi. There, you have the up and coming tag team of Emily J and Journey Burke. Yes. You know, they defeated Blonde Force Trauma, who actually was on our show a few years ago, which are Heather Monroe and Ray Lynn. Yeah. TB Smooth and Damien Alexander going at it. You had Vicious Vicky and Lena Cross. You had one of our actual favorites, Boomaye Fight Club member. Shout out to the Boomaye, Jay Bougie.
Jay Bougie.
You know, Jay Bougie, winning the Grand Dragon title from Anthony Gangone, who's
Yes.
also AEW star as well. And then of
Mhm.
course, you have one of the meanest men. I'm glad I'm not a professional wrestler because oh geez, I probably would, my whole body would be in a body cast. The All Father Darius Carter, man who shows no mercy,
Mhm.
fighting against Victor Benjamin.
Yes.
Those of you that did not go to that anniversary show, that's what was happening at that show. All that
Mhm.
action.
Oh, you missed a good one if you missed that one.
Yeah,
Mhm.
they definitely did. But you have another show coming up. So tell us a bit about that. What the fans can expect to see. Just a little thing, just not too much, a little teaser. We don't want to give them too much because then they're gonna be like you know just give them a little hint of
Well,
what they could see
well, for
at
this
that
show,
upcoming show.
yeah. So, like I said, for this show, it's the Grand Rumble. We've done so many shows, but the one thing that we've never done on this show is a Grand Rumble. So now, first time ever, we're putting it together. And when I tell you the competitors that are lined up to be in oh man, it is amazing. And you know what? I'm gonna drop one name for you right now, right here, because you mentioned it a couple of times.
Exclusive.
Exclusive. One of the people that will be in the Grand Rumble August 18th, none other than WWE star herself, Notorious Mimi. She will be in it. Yeah.
Woo!
Mm-hmm.
Man, y'all heard already. WWE superstar Notorious Mimi
Oh
is
yeah.
gonna be in that Grand Rumble.
Mm.
And those of you that know about these kind of matches, you never know who's going to show up. 27 people. You
Right.
never know who's going to show up. It could be a
And then
local
of course,
star.
yeah,
It could be a
international.
star. It could be a star from California. I'm sure he's had several California stars
Oh
on the show.
yeah,
He has Human
definitely.
Tornado.
Mm-hmm.
He's had a B-boy. If you don't know who B-boy is,
Uh-huh.
eh, trust me, you must be sleeping under a rock, especially if you're a fan of the LA wrestling scene. But he's
Yeah.
had B-boy on the show. He could
Mm-hmm.
have maybe somebody from WWE who was previously signed, or AEW, or TNA. He could
TNA.
have somebody from overseas. You never know.
You never know. We've done it all, right? We've had Moose from TNA. We've had oh man, how come her name forgets me right now? Escapes me. She's from Australia. Oh man.
Shaza?
Shaza McKenzie, yes. She was been on my show. Oh, Shaza's awesome too. I can't wait till I can bring her back. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So y'all see, you never know who's gonna show up at these shows. That's why I keep telling y'all, support your local promotion, support indie wrestling. I know I make jokes about if y'all don't support, our other co-host Rob Bass is gonna come and to your house to eat all your food and leave a skip rope in your pot. That means you gotta skip that meal. Or I know I make jokes about Kathy breaking into your house just to beat you up, just because she ain't got nothing better to do. But all jokes aside, that's why you got to support indie wrestling, because you never know what matches you may see. You might
Right,
find a classic moment that will probably never be seen in WWE, or by the time WWE does it, you've probably seen it done already. You'd be like, yeah, I saw that already.
right.
It was a bit more meaningful when BCW did it. So you got
Yeah.
to support. That's why you got to support your local promotion.
Mhm.
And y'all definitely make sure y'all check out that Grand Rumble. It sounds exciting.
Yes,
I'm gonna try my
please.
best to make it.
Appreciate it, man. Come on out. Yeah.
Yeah. So I just got like one or two more questions before I turn it over to Kathy. So my second to last question, being a promoter, man. I know that a lot of people get their inspirations. Some people when they wrestle, they say, "Oh, I got my inspiration from Booker T, or from Sting, or from AJ Styles." Some people when they become a referee, yeah, Earl Hebner was my guy, man. The way he used to like just be so like on point with the counts. Some people become a manager and they're like, yeah, the late
Bobby
great Mr.
Heenan.
Fuji was my guy.
Yeah.
Or that Jimmy Hart, man, the gusto he had outside when it came to
Mhm.
leading his charges is what inspired me. But you're a promoter, so who would you say um, inspired you? And you could call names outside of wrestling too, because I know we get inspiration from everywhere. But who would you say inspires you as a wrestling promoter?
You know who inspires me? I don't know if you guys are familiar with NYWC, New York Wrestling Connection. They've run out
I've
of
heard of it. Mikey
Shane,
Whipwreck, right?
Mikey Whipwreck, yeah, he's associated with them, yep. And Shane O'Neill. Those guys, man, they taught me everything I know about the wrestling industry. You know, like Shane, he's like my wrestling pops. So anytime I think about, going another day in this wrestling industry, just climbing one step further up that ladder, I always think about the way Shane conducts himself, the way Shane runs his business, and I try to, model myself after that because I do admit the wrestling industry is a bit different from all the other industries I work in. I do some real estate on the side. Like I said, I have my management company. I do some finance as well. But all of those industries are completely different from this wrestling industry. So it took me a little bit to get a grasp of it. But Shane, he's always been in my corner. So that would be the guy. Yeah.
Awesome, that's cool. I haven't heard of NY. I've heard of NYWC, but I haven't heard of them like
Hmm.
heard anybody name drop them in a while. But they definitely do a lot of great work there. I
Hmm.
think they're up in Long Island, right? If I'm not
Yeah,
mistaken.
yeah.
Yeah, I definitely remember here. That's where Trent Beretta, Brian Myers, and Matt
Yeah.
Cardona actually started.
Uh-huh.
It
Yep.
was right around that place. They're still doing shows, right?
Yeah. They actually have a show coming up July 20th, next Saturday.
I think it's been 20 years. I think they've been on for a hot minute.
Yeah. Either 20 or 25. I think it's 25 though.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's they definitely have a
Killing
lot of
it.
history.
They're killing it. Yeah.
So my last question before I hand the reins over to Kathy, if somebody comes up to you and says, "Man, yo, Anthony, that last BCW show y'all did, man, y'all tore the roof off the place, man. I want to become a promoter myself. I want to start my own company." You know, what advice would you give that young man or young woman or that new person that just wants to get into the wrestling promoter game?
I'd have to ask him a couple of questions like, do you have a family? Do you have young children? Because when you become a promoter, your company is your child. Your company is everything. Like, so if you don't have that time to dedicate to it, oh man. And see, keep in mind, right? Like if I do a hip hop show, right? I just book the talent. I book the talent. I say, you guys got 7 minutes. You guys got 3 minutes. I don't. It doesn't matter if these two artists get along with each other. Who cares? But when you book in a wrestling show, it's like you got to take into account all of that stuff. If I book this match, do these guys get along with each other? Will these guys work well together? So it's a lot different, but it's worth it though. It's worth it. But if you just getting into it and you don't have that patience and you don't have like that desire and that drive, I would say nah, don't do it. But if you really really like gonna be dedicated, do it, man. Do it. Follow your passion. Because I would have never thought that I would be a wrestling promoter. I thought that by this time I would be selling multi-million-dollar properties. I was not even thinking about wrestling at all. But I'm glad I did though. I can't live without it now. So
That's awesome, man. Definitely hope y'all definitely keep on doing the great work that y'all are doing. For those of you that just heard, that are interested in getting in the business as a promoter, you just got some advice from a man who's been at this for 8 years, an 8-year vet in the game. He just gave y'all a bit of advice. If y'all want any other advice, you probably got to hit him up yourselves. Maybe hit up his PayPal, Cash App, because this is a busy man right here. Time is
absolutely.
money, and he lives in New York, so it's definitely time is money. But you got a little something, something from a little something, something from him, courtesy of Ringside Society.
Oh,
Uh, with that being said, I'm gonna turn it over to Kathy. I know Kathy has a couple of questions. Kathy, go ahead. The floor is yours.
talk to me, Kathy.
All right, thanks for me. What's up, Anthony? How's it going today on this beautiful Sunday?
Oh, so far so good. How you doing?
Doing pretty well. Thanks for asking. So
That's
you dabble in a couple of things. You said real estate, you do comedy, you have wrestling. What got you into business in the first place as a whole? Like what started you to become
oh
a
man,
businessman?
I've always been an entrepreneur since a young kid. You know what my first thing that I did as an entrepreneur? I would go to the supermarkets early in the morning, and I would put the pamphlets together. I would put the pamphlets together, and you stick them in the bag. But the reason I put the pamphlets together was because I was promoting parties. I was doing Club Downtown in Manhattan. That's when I first met Fat Joe, Wanda Snell, who was the CEO of Loud Records, and I was helping them promote the club. So I would go to the supermarkets in the morning, stuff the plastic bags, put the flyers in the plastic bag, and then I would tell the manager of the supermarket that if they paid me $100 a day, I would put these flyers out everywhere. And they were like, okay. And I just went to all the buildings, put them all in the projects and everything. Not only was I promoting myself, but I was getting paid as well. So once I got hit by that bug, it was a wrap.
So what made you choose like real estate, and what interested you in all of that stuff like comedy? And then you said wrestling earlier. What got you into wrestling? But like how you got into all of that other stuff?
So first it started from high school. I had a bunch of friends. We all wanted to be rappers when we were in high school. So we would do little local shows here and there. We found a station called BCAT, Brooklyn Public Access Television, and these guys loved us. So every week we would be at the BCAT station, performing. Then we started getting some notoriety, and then one of my rappers had a cousin who was a comic. So in the middle of a hip hop show, we put the comic on and it killed. So I'm like, oh, you know what? Let's do this. So, it was just a progression. So and once we went from the hip hop to the to the to the comedy, all the comics always knew poets. So then we would just do hip hop, comedy, and poetry. We actually released a book of poetry called Finally Free back in 2015. Yeah, so it was pretty good. So it's just a slow progression, and then just bringing other things under the umbrella, which always
Nice.
keeps me on my toes.
Yeah. So it just kind of snowballed. One thing led to another, led to another.
Yep.
That's
Hmm.
awesome.
Yeah,
So did you go to like to school for business or anything, or it's just like
I
street
did go to
sports
school for
and
business. Yes.
okay,
Hmm.
awesome.
Yeah.
That's pretty interesting. So you said you've 8 years of recombination wrestling. What are some of your best moments that have happened in that promotion?
You know what? The number one moment that always stands out to me. Now, there's been many, but the number one is we did a wedding. We did a real live wedding. Sean and Jen, they met on a dating site. Their first date was at BCW. And then I think 2 years later, 2019, 3 years later, 2019, November, we did a show called A Cold Day in Hell. And that was actually the wedding of Sean and Jen. And let me tell you something. When they came to me afterwards and they were like, Aunt, this is everything we wanted. This is everything and then some. Like, I was so proud of that show because there was so many moving parts. I never did a wedding before. And these guys were like just so great. They're just such great people. And for them to ask us to marry them, I was honored. So that's like the one of the biggest moments in BCW, at least for me though.
That's
So
pretty awesome.
yeah.
Did any shenanigans happen? Like you see
Oh, a whole
WWE
lot.
ones
Oh,
and
a whole lot. Oh man, we had Chris Dickerson, we had Teddy Hart, we had he's on AEW right now. He keeps his hands in his pocket.
Orange Cassidy.
Orange Cassidy. When I first saw this gimmick, I was like, yo, this guy is insane. And when I watched him wrestle that day, I was like, I get it though. I get it. And I've been watching Orange Cassidy ever since. So yeah, that show definitely had a lot of shenanigans. Yep.
Yeah, because weddings can't go without a hitch, right?
Right.
Something has to happen.
Oh yeah. The officiant got rock bottom right before he started proceeding over the marriage, and he was so tight. He was not expecting that, but it happened, and you just gotta roll with it.
That's
He was
crazy.
so tight.
So you said you've had Billy Gunn. We talked about Faye Jackson, which she's a
Right.
riot, and there's also been other people like Effie. Effie's been in your
Yes.
had a match too. So how do you get all of these personalities to sign up for your promotion and be like, how do they're so awesome and they're here nor there, they're everywhere. So like, how do you grab them and be like, hey, come on my show?
Oh man, it's like a two-way communication. Sometimes they reach out to me, sometimes I reach out to them, and it's like it's kind of like word of mouth, and our reputation precedes us. When people come to us, like you guys said, we heard so much good stuff about BCW. We would love to be a part of it, and my locker room is great. I was just talking to one of the wrestlers the other day, and he was saying, what I really like about the BCW locker room, there's no egos, there's no like anybody trying to be better than anybody. There's no one trying to stab anybody in the back. Like the locker room is great. So, I just try to keep that reputation. I try to keep that, that playing field level so everybody gets to shine. And I think that's what keeps people coming to BCW. So,
That's really cool. Yeah, because you kind of answered my next question. Like, how do you keep, they don't really have big egos, but they're big characters, we'll say.
yes.
So, like, how you keep them in check, but they already have that, they know they've been in the business for a while, so they know how to behave, I guess.
Yes, yes. And that's what we do. We weed them out, right? We'll bring in some people. We'll see if they get along with the rest of the team. And, if everything works out well, we'll continue using them. But sometimes it's a difficult thing. But sometimes we do have to, use people less than we want to, even though we would like to use them more. So, it's a delicate balance, but it's what's best for the business.
Yeah, you just have to kind of test the waters, I guess.
Yeah.
See what
Mhm.
works, see what doesn't.
Exactly. Yeah.
So, and for 8 years, something's working. So there you go.
Something's working. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So what do you think's the ticket to another 8 years? Just the same plan you've had, or add some stuff, take away some stuff?
We definitely have to add some stuff. Like, even though we're 8 years, I feel like this is just level one, right? Like, this is the foundation. This is when people can say, well, you know what? After 8 years, now we know Anthony Cole. We know what kind of businessman he is. We know what kind of personality he has. And then they know my team, and they know my team is also good. So we want to keep more the same there, but now we want to get bigger. I want to double my audience capacity. I'm doing anywhere between 6 to 8 shows per year. I want to be doing 12 shows per year, with 2 of those shows being international. So we putting the pieces of the puzzle together now, and that's why the team it matters so much, right? Like, because if I start investing in these guys and sending them to London, sending them to Paris, or overseas, I want to make sure that they representing the company as if they were me. So that's why we take it nice and slow. Like you said, you got to test the water, see what works, see what doesn't, and then you build from there. So that's what I think we're gonna be doing, to get to that 16-year anniversary. Oh, I can't wait. Just saying that gives me the chills. Oh, baby.
Yeah, I think you're on the right road. 8 years already. Eight
Yeah,
years will come, fly by, and you'll be like, "Whoa! I can't believe we've been in this for 18 years."
right. And the first 8, it just flew by. Like when we
Hmm.
did anniversary 7, and I'm standing there and I'm like, wow, we've been doing this. We celebrating our 7-year anniversary, and we've been in the business for 8. Like, as I'm saying that to the team, I couldn't even believe it myself. You know, and within a blink of an eye, we'll be celebrating 10 years, right? Wow.
Yeah, time goes by fast. I'm sure the wheels are turning for number 8 already, huh?
Oh yeah, we got it halfway booked already. It's not halfway booked.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you have all in the noggin right there, huh?
Yes. Yes. Yeah, we got 2 more shows for this year, and then we start in 2025 with a bang. Oh man, first three shows already. Welcome to the new year, Queen of the North, and then anniversary 8. That's how we start in 2025.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
awesome. So another thing I would say is to a key to your longevity, you and I like that people do this too because other promoters will do this. Instead of fighting with other promotions, you actually come together with other promotions and you have
Yes.
matches as part of another promotion's card. So I
Hmm.
think that's another good key to longevity. You actually have one. You have a match with Leo Rush on August
Yes,
the 4th with Smash Master Wrestling.
that's right. Jay Bougie takes on Leo Rush, and Darius Carter's going to be on that card too. Darius Carter's going to be taking on Mike Skyros for the BCW World Heavyweight Championship. Yeah,
That's pretty awesome.
yes,
One that I did see that caught my eye. It's not part of BCW, but Allison Kay is gonna fight Jamie Senegal that night. So
yes. He's going to be fighting. Yes, yes, yes.
that's gonna be a barn burner right there.
Oh,
Woo!
yeah. Two great competitors right there.
Yeah, that should be a really good card. So again, that one's on August the 4th.
Hmm.
So you mentioned Darius Carter is one of your champions. Why don't you go through all the champions? Like, what titles do you have, and who's champion right now?
Okay, so Darius Carter, he's the only two-time BCW World Heavyweight Champion. Then we have Jay Bougie, who just won the Grand Dragon Championship from Anthony Gangone. And then we have a new tag team, Journey Burke and Emily Jade. They now make the tag team called Stunning Law. And they just recently beat Blonde Force Trauma for the tag team titles. And then last but not least, we have Vicious Vicky as our women's champion, and she has been tearing it up everywhere. She was just on TNA. She's got another match coming up on TNA, I believe, either this week or next week, but it's pretty soon. So yeah, they out there. I'm really enjoying this. I think I got four great competitors as champions, and they're making me proud each and every time. So yeah,
Very cool. So, we talked about Faye Jackson already a couple of times. She used to be she was the women's champion, correct?
Faye Jackson was the original, the
Okay.
inaugural Queen of the North, and she was the inaugural BCW Women's Champion. Yes, she was. And the funny thing about that, and Faye was talking to me about this the other day. She's like, Aunt, I never lost the title. I had to drop the title because I got injured. And I was like, Faye, you were 100% correct. So I don't know if that means she's going to be throwing her hat back into the arena, but I don't think it means that she isn't. So we'll see. We'll see what's coming up.
It definitely sounds like it. She's back in BCW,
Yes,
so
yes, it sounds like she's ready.
yeah, it sounds like she's coming back for that title she never lost.
Right. Yep. So let's see. Let's see how this unfolds. Looking
Yeah,
forward to
everybody better watch out.
it.
She's coming back.
He's coming back.
So, you have a lot of businesses. You're a wrestling promoter. You're a dad, family guy. So I'm pretty sure you don't have a lot of free time. But if you do have free time, what do you like to do in your free time?
Oh, you are not even going to believe this. You know what I like to do in my free time? I like to play Destiny. That is the one video game that I don't know what it is about this game, but I love this game. I love Destiny. And I'm not saying I'm like as good as everybody else, but I'm good enough to be good for me. So that's what I do. And I don't get much time to play it. I saw a email come out the other day that said that there was a new season coming out. I'm like, I don't even know what season it was when I stopped playing it, but it's probably been about 6 months since I've been on it. So, but that's what I do. Anytime I got some free time, I jump on there, bust
Might
out
have
a
to
couple of rounds.
catch back up on it when it comes out. That new season comes
Yes.
out.
Yeah.
I thought you were gonna say, you know what I like to do? I was gonna be like, what, sleep?
I do enjoy a good sleep though. Yeah.
Yep, I think feel like we don't get enough sleep these days.
Right. I agree. I
Busy
agree with
doing stuff we have to get done.
that. Hmm.
So you mentioned August 18th, the Grand Rumble.
Yep.
There it says a tribute to Mama Pan. So who is Mama Pan for people that don't know?
So Mama Pan, I have my CCO, my Chief Content Officer, AJ Pan, and his mom was always instrumental in the business. There's a few times where we did big event shows, at the LaGuardia Hotel. She was there. She always helped us out. And, unfortunately, we lost her a few years ago to cancer. And her favorite WW event was the Royal Rumble. So as a tribute to her, we're doing our first Grand Rumble. Last year, we did Summer on Smash, a tribute to Mama Pam. But then after we talked about it and realized that her, favorite event was the Royal Rumble, we're doing the Grand Rumble now. So this is definitely a tribute to Mama Pam. And, man, AJ, again, my heart goes out to you, AJ. Mama Pam was amazing. She was definitely amazing. Yeah.
Well, that's definitely pretty sweet that you're doing that for her.
Mm-hmm.
And if she was a big wrestling fan, then
Yeah, she was the biggest.
Tributes are awesome. Yeah, tributes are always awesome for people that were so dedicated to wrestling.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So you mentioned in the Rumble, Notorious Mimi is going to be in there. So does that mean it's going to be men and women?
Oh,
in
definitely
one
men and women. Yes,
That's
intergender
awesome.
Rumble. Yes.
Those are the best.
Oh yeah.
Back here in Louisiana, there's a place in New Orleans, Wildcat Sports, and
Oh.
they do what's called a Revolution Rumble, and they've had women in theirs too. So like, yeah,
Oh,
women
nice.
can hang with the men. That's the kind of stuff I like. Like I hate
Mhm.
how people say like, oh, men can't wrestle women, and yes, they can.
Yes, they can.
If
Yes.
it's done right, yes, they can.
Exactly. Yep. Some of my best matches have been intergender matches.
That's
Mm-hmm.
awesome. Yeah, Lucha Underground used to do them really well. It
Yeah.
wasn't You didn't see like a man and a woman. You saw a wrestler and an athlete versus a wrestler and an athlete.
An athlete.
They
Exactly.
did it right.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
A lot of people are like, "Oh, they can't do that." Yes, they can.
Yes, they can.
Yeah,
It's been done, and if it's like you said, if it's done right, it works.
yep, exactly.
Mhm.
So, what else can we see besides the Rumble? What matches are we gonna look forward to?
Oh, my 4 champions are definitely going to be defending their titles. Darius Carter, Vicious Vicky, Stunning Law, Jay Boozy. They're definitely going to be having some action that day. Finalizing those matches as we speak. Should have everything done by, today's Sunday, by Monday. So, yeah,
There you
this week
go.
we'll start to see some stuff come out. Yeah.
Sweet. Well, everybody listening, keep a lookout for that for sure.
Mhm.
So, you said that was your first Rumble that's coming up. Any other firsts down the pike, or it's you gonna keep it as a surprise?
You know what? Next year there's going to be a lot of firsts. Like I said, we're doing 6 to 8 shows. Next year I have to do 10 shows, and that means we're going to need to make 2 new shows. So we have Welcome to the New Year, Queen of the North, anniversary. Then we normally take off April and May, and then come back in June with Summer on Smash. So now this year, Summer on Smash will be June, but then the Grand Rumble will be August. So that's already adding another show, but we need something for April and May. So I'm trying to come up with something right now that that we can do that'll keep the fans very excited. So I
Yeah,
think that.
you got a good team. I'm pretty sure you'll get something together, and
Oh yeah,
everybody will enjoy it. Like they enjoy the past shows and the upcoming shows too.
definitely. Thank you. Yep.
Awesome. Well, everybody keep a lookout. August the 4th, you have a match there with Smash Master Wrestling, and then August 18th, the big one,
Yes, ma'am.
the Grand Rumble.
The Grand Rumble. Let's do it. Oh, I'm so
Yep.
excited.
So, anything else you want to promote or you have going on that you have since you have a platform?
You know what? No, but let me just let everybody know. Get your tickets on Eventbrite. Go to the grandrumble.eventbrite.com. Get your tickets right there. And please follow us on social media. YouTube, Brii combination, no space. And, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, BRII combination. And it'll pop up right there. Follow us, definitely. And one other thing I have coming up. I am releasing a series of YouTube-based shows. On Monday, as a tribute to Friday night's main event, I'm going to be releasing Monday night's main event. And that's going to be all the main events from the past 8 years of BCW. So we're going to be bringing that out. Tuesday, I'm going to bring out an episode called How Did We Get Here? So, it's going to be telling the story of how Brii Combination was formed in season 1. Then in season 2, we'll take a look at, the history of the champions, starting with Faye Jackson, and then the progression of how, the women's champion, then the tag team champions, things like that. And then Thursday is going to be Throwback Thursday. So some of the vintage matches like Leo Rush versus Human Tornado, that was a great match, put up matches like that. And then, of course, Friday, my favorite day of the week, that's going to be Fabulous Female Fridays. So all the ladies that have ever graced BCW by being in that ring, I'm going to put all of those matches up each and every Friday. So you'll be able to see a different part of BCW via our YouTube channel almost every day. I take Wednesdays off. I need a mental health day, so I don't do anything on Wednesdays. Yeah.
That sounds great. Yeah, it'll give people like me. I haven't, had never heard of you guys because I'm not on the East Coast.
Right.
So, I'm down in the South in Louisiana. Give people like me a chance to catch up.
Definitely.
And catch up and keep up,
There you go. Exactly. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Well,
yes, check that out.
Yep. Anthony, it's been a pleasure having you on the show, and we wish BCW a lot of success and, 8 more years and 10 more years and however high you can take this.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I appreciate it, guys.
All right, Remy.
Anthony, thank you very much for, taking time out of your busy schedule to be a guest on our show. Really and truly appreciate it. It's an honor to finally get you on our show. And we wish BCW nothing but success. Hopefully y'all get to make those international tours to London, France, Spain, even Japan, which if you've never been in Japan.
Yes.
If you haven't been to Japan yet, take it for somebody that's been there several times. It's everything they say it is and more. It's a very
wow, good. My birthday is in November. I was trying to go to Japan for my birthday.
Yeah, I was just there for my birthday.
Oh wow, look at that.
This past back in May. And
Nice.
the funny thing, I did a show in Japan when I was vacationing over there. We actually had some guests, and it was the time difference is crazy. It's like right now it's like I think it's already Sunday morning over there, 9 o'clock over there. So
yeah,
they're 13 hours ahead of us. So it's definitely worth a trip. But
okay.
Yeah, we definitely wish y'all nothing but the best. Thank you if you haven't heard it before from any other fans, you're going to hear it from us for the first time. But if you haven't heard it, but if you already heard it from fans, I guess you're going to hear it for the 100,000th time. Thank you on behalf of myself, Kathy Knight, our other co-host, Rob Bass, who couldn't make it today, but I'm sure he would have loved to talk about wrestling with you as well. And our other members of our team, Chris Cartwright and Albert Armageddon, the Ringside Society team. We'd like to thank you for, giving us 8 years of great memories and matches. We appreciate it. We look forward to many more years of BCW. And like I said, one of these days, when I get the time, when I get to clear my schedule, I'm going to definitely be at the Mecca checking out BCW.
Appreciate
you guys got a lot of great things going on.
Yes. Well,
So
thank you.
Before we shut this show down, where can fans find you on social media when they want to find out when the next BCW show is, purchase tickets, or even purchase BCW merchandise as well?
So on Twitter, you can find me at Brii Combination. Hold on. Brii _combination _ Instagram, same thing. And Facebook, Brii Combination.
Awesome. So y'all definitely heard those social media links. Definitely go ahead and give Brii Combination a follow. They're definitely doing a lot of great things. You don't want to miss it. And if you are in the New York, New Jersey area, head on over to BCW. Check out their shows. You will not be bored as well. And like I said, support indie wrestling. It's a great thing. Y'all heard the names that we just named off. All those names that are stars today have appeared in BCW in the past. So definitely, head on over, because you never know who's going to be the next big star that wrestles at BCW.
True indeed.
So definitely go ahead and support indie wrestling. It's a great feeling and whatnot. And with that being said, it's about time for us to shut this show down. My eyelids are getting heavy. My stomach is rumbling. It's time for dinner and a nap. Maybe not in that order, but before I partake in those activities, Kathy Knight, the money penny to my James Bond, and the
I love it.
money, the Pepper Potts to my Tony Stark. Where can fans find you on social media when they want to talk wrestling, all things Becky Lynch, Paige, or Soraya, as she's known as now, and good eating in Louisiana?
So you can find me on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Twitch, and Discord at BLUE70517. And you can find me front row at All Fury Pro in Houston, Texas on July 27th.
All
We
Fury
also,
Pro.
yep, we also sponsored Rachel Rose for that show. So
All,
check it out if you're in Houston.
All Fury Pro. Shout out to our good friend Jacob King and the gang down there doing great things as well. If you want to find me on social media, not that I say a lot of cool things, but I do go to a couple of cool places. You can definitely find me on Twitter and Instagram at the Remy Blue. I'm also on TikTok now. Yeah, the bug finally bit me at the Remy Blue is the other thing too. So you can find me on there, and I'm also on Facebook under the alias Remy Blue as well. Our podcast is on social media. We're on Twitter, Instagram, at Ringside Society, Twitch at Ringside Society 2019. We're on Facebook as a Facebook group. We're also on Spotify. We have a Teespring store, but we're actually redoing it right now. But once we get it, once we're done doing that, that's where you'll be able to purchase all of the official Ringside Society merch that we have there. We also have a Facebook group, and last but not least, we have a YouTube channel. That's right, where you can see cool interviews like this one, like the one we recently had with the performer Oscar Weiss. Many other great people. We've had interviews with Bad News Brown's daughter on that show, the Big Boss Man's daughter. Several great interviews with men and women, both fans and involved in the business. You can find all of those on YouTube. And to see them is just really simple. It's not algebra, it's not calculus, it's not rocket science. Just go on YouTube, type in Ringside Society. And once you see that really good looking dark blue and light blue yin yang sign, the blue flames around it, Kathy, stop poking the sign. The last time you did, you threw it off the screen and we had to pay to get it back on. Just kidding. But yeah, when you see that really good looking logo there, that's when you know it's us. So make sure you subscribe to all our videos because we got a lot of cool stuff coming up and you don't want to miss a thing like Aerosmith in 1998. But with that being said, we just want to thank everybody tuning live tonight. Thank you very much. Really, truly appreciate y'all tuning in. We strive on being one of the best wrestling podcasts a wrestling fan could, should, and would listen to. And we're not going to stop being that. To those of you that are going to listen later on, we get a chance. Thank you very much in advance. And those y'all that hate us, can't stand us, really and truly wish we'd go away. Well, like myself at a Gordon Corral and Kathy Knight at a Cafe Du Monde, buy one, get one free special. Man, those things are addictive. We're not going anywhere for a while.
They hate us because they ain't us.
And we ain't
There you
stopping.
go.
So with that being said, we just want everybody to know that we're very well and aware. Everybody in the grandparents and the parents of a podcast. But we're not your grandparents' podcast. We're not your parents' podcast. As a matter of fact, we're not just any podcast. So with that being said, hey yo, Kathy Knight, one time for the mind, one time for the people, one time for the wrestling culture, and one time for Brii Combination Wrestling. And 8 years of greatness, and one time for the man that's making it all happen like a captain, Anthony Cole.
Yes.
What type of podcast are we?
We're the Wrestling Fans Podcast.
That's right, we're the Wrestling Fans Podcast, Ringside Society. And we'll be back next week with another impressive guest on another impressive host. But until then, we just have 4 favors for y'all. Stay safe, stay healthy, be excellent to each other, and enjoy wrestling. We out. Peace.
Let the good times roll, Louisiana. Bye.
Bye-bye.